Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man, and this is the last video of the day because we're not making no videos tomorrow or Saturday unless there's a news breaking thing that happens. But we're doing Isaiah 4:1 on this one. For those of you who don't know, and even those who do, let me give you a refresher. Isaiah 4:1 states, "In that day, 7 women will take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food, wear our own clothes, only let us be called by your name. Take away our disgrace," right? That's what it says. Now, you have people out there that's stuck in their ways, and that's fine. But they think their ways are the ways. I've heard dudes say stuff like, if my wife get half, she just get half. It don't matter what she do. I've heard them say things like that. But that's what we're talking about on today. The extortion that goes on as a result of not understanding relationships. The extortion that goes on as a result of not understanding relationships. Whether it's the alimony, whether it's the child support, whether it's the preacher at church, you just want to do right. You think that's the right way to go. Everybody you know go to this church, but you know this man is a fraud and you still there. The extortion that happens because of relationships. Now, this is why Isaiah 4:1 says what it says, because the extortion is part of the disgrace. It's not just OnlyFans, it's not just people selling feet pictures, it's not just the adultery, thottery 304. It's not the amateur POR, fill in the blank playing Scrabble. It's the extortion that comes from people not understanding relationships. You got guys that think this is the way to go. Get married, white picket fence, have kids. But guess what? You not understanding the world you live in and the way relationships go will lead to you being extorted. You don't know how that woman gonna feel about you 10 years in, 20 years in. And you could take it from the best of us that sometimes they change up on you. And it's not always because of anything you did. What are they doing, man? And people be out here in the road, not in a right mind, not thinking because of their relationships. Like, they'll be sitting there thinking about trying to please some woman and the light turn green. Or they won't be watching what they doing or something. Listen, man, you gonna get extorted. You can't please them. They supposed to please you. And as a result of them pleasing you, then you make a stronger effort to give them whatever it is they want. Whatever it is they want, you can't please them, but you try to make a better effort when they put forth the effort to please you. Now, Andrew Tate, just listening to him and a lot of his viewpoints on relationships, I see part of why he blew up the way he did. But I also see why he got canceled. You can't know too much. You can't teach too much of the right thing. You can't be too traditional and be put out in the forefront. You're going to get canceled. You're supposed to be matrix. You can't be mainstream and matrix free. It's just not going to work. Now, what do I mean by this extortion? I mean, all the stuff you're going to have to buy for all the people you're going to have to buy it for, and then you turn around and you still not be with your kids, not be with her. Think of all the money, those of you that's been divorced, think of all the money that you spent on that woman that divorced you, right? And then she takes you to family court to get even more. Divorce lawyers are extortionists. The woman, whoever decides to go to family court to get money from the other person, that person is an extortionist. Now, there are some rare cases, because y'all know I'm the truth man. You got to see both sides. If a dude is just not trying to take care of his kids at all, and never has in some cases, then what else could they do? That's the only hope for them. And it still might fail. But if a guy has been about his kids and take care of his kids, and a woman still tries to take him to family court, really, in most cases, that's her trying to make sure you don't have nothing for the next woman that in some cases won't have a hard time at all being better than her. Like some of these women, man, all the next woman got to do is open her legs and she done did more than the last one. I mean, each one of us as individuals in relationships, if that person move on from you, it should be an uphill battle for them to replace you. Like, it's not going to be easy to replace me. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how it should be. Like, if you're a woman, a guy shouldn't be, the next woman should not be able to upstage you and be an upgrade from you that easy. But let's say you had a woman that's not, she done just kind of scale back. Maybe she's depressed, but that's not an excuse. If you're that depressed, you shouldn't be married. You should be somewhere trying to recover for your own self. So let's say she done scale back cleaning, scale back cooking, scale back sex. Let's say she's talking to other guys more and she's more argumentative. Okay, you divorce her. It's gonna be easy for the next woman. All the next woman will have to do is one thing on a regular basis, and she done already upgraded. But if you get with somebody else and she's cooking for you, she's keeping the house clean, let's say she's working, you're gonna have to do it some. It's only fair. But she's still doing these things. That's an upgrade. As long as she ain't no hoe, she ain't cheating or nothing like that, that would be an upgrade for you guys. If you went from a sexless woman, which ain't no excuses for, to a woman that you practically pounding her, you already doing better as long as she loyal. Because to me, the main two characteristics, the main two things that a wife needs to be is loyal and sexual. Loyal, she's gonna be faithful if she's loyal. So you say, well, faithful. That could be considered another category, but that's the same as loyal. If she's faithful, she's loyal. If she's loyal, she's faithful. So that's why I didn't say faithful. Loyal and sexual. The rest, if she don't know how to cook and she's trying to learn how to cook, she can learn how to cook, but I cook. So I'm like, okay, well, you don't know how to cook, I'll cook sometimes and then we'll just go out to eat. That's not like that's a bad thing, but it's not like a horrible thing. Like not having sex, not having a sex drive, that's horrible. Not being loyal, that's horrible. Not knowing how to cook, that's bad, but you can get around that. You can get around that. Next thing would be like, she gotta know about stuff. She can't be too dingy. Like I know some of y'all dudes like docile women. Docile women will cheat on you quick. I like women that's strong, in terms of headstrong and intelligent, but I like them to, I don't want them to be trying to outdo me. I don't want it to be a competition. I want them to fall back and bring that stuff out when needed. You know what I mean? Because if they not these things, if they not the right kind of woman, then they're gonna extort you. Look up the definition of extortionist. Tell me what you find. Because if you end up in divorce court paying because you made a previous decision to marry somebody that was previously different than they are now, which is why you're in divorce court. That's not fair. That's not fair for you to have to pay all of that money just to leave this person alone. That's not fair. It's not a fair. It's not a fair shake in most cases. Like, let's say she was undiagnosed mental illness, and so she dealing with mental issues, and she decides because those mental issues are bothering her, she don't want to be with you no more. So you got to pay her for problems that she could have previously had. And in most cases they previously had could be something from their childhood or something like that. And you have to pay her. That's extortion. It's unfair. That's robbery. That's like me working all week long and then some dude come along and demand my paycheck. And I got to give it to him. Let's say somebody comes along after me working all week, be like, I need your check because you said right here that blah, 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 blah. Something that I previously signed. I done work all week. This person they done breached the contract and I still have to pay them? That's extortion. That's blackmail. And this is why Isaiah 4:1 need to come to pass. Now you say, well, that's marriage. That's talking about marriage. No, it ain't. Not necessarily. It just says, they said we will eat our own food, wear our own clothes, only let us be called by your name. That don't mean like a marriage license. Because marriage was different during those days. Take away our disgrace. See, nowadays women, I don't need no man. The Bible say that's a disgrace for you not to have no man. So, you don't believe in the Bible? Okay, well, I don't want you anyway. That's going to be poison between your legs. You don't believe, to me, this is just me. Now, whether it's true or not, whatever, I'm just going to tell you how I look at it. You don't have to be like a religious Christian or nothing like that. But you got to believe in God. You got to believe that the Bible is the truth. Even if you don't believe, if you say, yeah, I believe it's the truth, but I wonder about some things in it. Okay, we'll work with that. But if you say you don't believe it at all, I don't need nothing you got, to be honest with you. And this is why you don't have no marriage license. So when people, let's say, I heard somebody talk about this. Like Coach Greg, you know how when you're doing YouTube, you like be talking like for two people, like giving a scenario. And he gave a scenario one time where the woman had became a feminist during the marriage. Like, man, you a feminist? You're like, what? You wasn't like this. This wasn't who you were. If she becomes something that she wasn't, and you like, I can't deal with this, and you have to pay her still, that's extortion. That's extortion. That's what we're talking about on today. People who end up getting extorted of their money and their resources because they don't know how relationships really go. When you know how relationships really are, like, and if they think they're gonna go overseas and find something different, there's a lot of people that's coming clean. Like the Filipino woman that made the video saying that they do be curious about black men, and if you got money, then they're gonna respect you. But if you grow up over there, you're gonna be discriminated against. The way I look at it, if somebody is discriminating against somebody that look like me, then you discriminating against me. That's the way I look at it. Like, it ain't no any, mini, miny, mo. Like, if you got a problem with somebody that's lumped up with me, then you got a problem with me too. And that's what people mess up. You think that they like you, but hate another. For instance, It's not to say that you should judge everything by this and all your dealings with people. But how could you think that a white person that's racist towards another black person is not racist towards you? You must not understand racism. If a person is racist, then whoever they racist against everybody that's classified in that group. Racism, classism is two different things. But when a person is racist, they're racist against all. Now you can tap dance and here I am, sir. But that don't change that fact. A person that calls me the N-word is calling you an N-word too. And if they not, then they must think you one of them. And if they think you one of them, it's something wrong with that too. Because you don't have to, like me, I don't embrace everything that black people think I should embrace. But racism is racism across the board, no matter what. And this is why, look at the people that's taking up for Deion. And mostly it's people who don't understand that basically Deion basically pissed on Jackson State. That's what it is. And if you watch the 60 Minutes episode, then you can't go make all these promises. It's almost like, remember, like I get a good analogy with wrestling. Remember how on wrestling, there'll be a wrestler that he'll act like he good, right? Like he's with the good wrestler. And then he'll clothesline him and he'll turn him. And now he's kind of like what Barry Windham did to Lex Luger. That it is a perfect example. Lex Luger was hurt. Barry Windham had already been talking to J.J. Dillon about joining the Four Horsemen. And when he saw that Luger was hurt and Luger didn't do what he wanted him to do, now he done he done did his finishing move, the lariat, on Luger and became a Four Horseman, walked out with the Four Horsemen. That's kind of what Deion did. Deion knew how Jackson State was. He toured. But that's also the point I'm making with this extortion thing, how some people, when they don't understand relationships, they end up getting extorted, right? So let's say Deion goes to Colorado and never comes up with the money to get his salary. Did he really upgrade? Or his son doesn't perform at the level that he did at Jackson State? When you don't understand relationships, this is when you get extorted. And this is mainly about dating and relationship, but this can be anything. It could be you at the local church. You don't understand relationships, you get extorted. You don't understand that you and God have nothing to do with him. There are no middlemen. If you go to hell, you go to heaven, it's going to be based on your own works, your own decisions. That pastor ain't going to have nothing to do with it. But just like the devil did Adam and Eve in the garden, people can fool you sometimes. They'll tell lies. Like sometimes people, the whole time they'll be using you to recover some dude that done broke their heart. Or using you, they don't even like you like that. And that's why I tell you, don't get with women that turn you down in this. Don't marry no woman that didn't get you play out the gate. Because those is the ones that will extort you when it's all said and done. And those are the nastiest breakups. The one that didn't want you to begin with. Like even if you go listen to some of when people talk about how they first meet, they end up divorced. Most of the time you're going to hear, she'll say something like, well, I wasn't into him like that when I first met him. And they end up divorced. And what does she do? Alimony, which is extortion. Child support, which is extortion. Man, a lot of women will literally play Powerball hoping they could win so they could divorce their husband and break their family up. People do that. I'm telling you, man. Y'all think I don't be knowing what I'm talking about. It can, and you never know what's surfacing in a woman's mind. You just never know. You never can know. That's why, let's think about it like this. When these women change up on us like they do sometimes, you got to ask yourself, was this always the case? You got to ask yourself that. Because I replay things. Like when things don't work out, I like to replay. I like to go back and figure out possibly why it didn't work out. Whether it's a job, whether I used to do that in corrections too. Like we have an instance that they investigating or something like that. I replay the whole event in my mind to get clarity. Y'all got to start doing that with relationships, man. And this is why you got to take it slow. Don't let your parents, don't let your grandparents, don't let them people at your church, man, just marry her. Whatever happened, happened. No, you're going to get extorted. You gonna get extorted. If you got a stay-at-home wife and it don't work out and y'all go to divorce court and she wanna drag you through, then you have to pay for her side and your side. And then after you done paying for both sides, you're gonna have to pay alimony and child support. You better off just going to jail. Like, forget it. Like, I'm not finna give you all this money because I decided years ago. Come on now. That's not fair. That's extortion. And people who don't understand relationships get extorted. Like the dude gave the example on the clip that a lot of people play. He said, if somebody told you that you had a 53% chance of being struck by lightning or hit over the head with a bowling ball, you gonna wear a helmet or you not gonna go outside. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Your helmet is not entering into that contract in the first place. I'm the type of person, and if you can't convince me and I know I'm right, I don't care about your feelings. And you better watch what you say, because I don't be playing all that disrespect. I'll either stop dealing with you or something else. I don't be playing all that disrespect. People be getting into that disrespect because they can't get you to think like them. I don't be playing that. Like, you gotta be separated. Like, once you start disrespecting me, you can't be around, because I know myself, if you keep doing it, eventually something bad is gonna happen. That's why I separate myself from jobs, from people, so on and so forth. That junk is extortion, man. And having kids, I wouldn't change it for myself. I got wonderful kids. But that don't mean that you gonna have your kid. That don't mean it's gonna be like that for you. So you gotta realize that it's not everything. Especially if you end up doing it with the wrong person. Anyway, I'm gonna close with that. We'll see y'all for the Sunday sermon. This is The Truth, man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel.